To the human eye, the ocean is a vast, silent abyss. A cold, unforgiving void where life simply consumes life without a second thought. But beneath the dark surface of the Pacific Northwest, it is a world alive with sound. A world built on ancient echoes, built on family. For millions of years, apex predators have ruled these freezing waters. But there is one mind down here so profoundly complex, it challenges everything we thought we knew about intelligence and the capacity to feel pain. The orca, the killer whale. They are not fish. They are mammalian titans, and their brains hide a biological secret, a structural anomaly that we do not even possess. In the human brain, our emotions are processed in a specific region, but the orca brain has evolved an entirely extra lobe, a highly developed paralimbic cleft. This is a massive neural network of spindle cells, the very cells responsible for empathy, grief, and deep social connection. They have significantly more of these cells than we do. What does this mean for the creatures living in the dark? It means their capacity to feel physical pain, to feel intense love, and to feel devastating, world-shattering loss might actually be deeper and more intense than anything a human being can possibly experience. They do not just hunt out of instinct. They form incredibly complex societies. They are led by ancient grandmothers who carry the generational memories of where to find food when the oceans go barren. They speak in unique, sophisticated dialects, a language of clicks, whistles, and calls passed down through centuries. They are an ancient, noble culture, and right now, they are dying. The southern resident orcas, known to scientists as J-pod, are starving to death in their own home. Their only source of food, the Chinook salmon, is vanishing from the waters. The ocean is choked with toxic pollution. The constant deafening roar of commercial shipping traffic blinds their natural sonar, making it impossible to hunt in the dark. They are a family slowly suffocating. The psychological and physical stress is absolute. For 3 agonizing years, not a single calf born into this specific pod had survived. Every pregnancy ended in failure. Every birth ended in a heartbreaking period of mourning. The entire family was standing on the absolute brink of ecological collapse. So, when a 20-year-old female named Tahlequah, cataloged by researchers as J35, became pregnant, the entire pod understood the immense gravity of the moment. For 18 grueling months, she carried her unborn calf. 18 months of carrying vital, extra weight while her own body was wasting away from starvation. She gave every ounce of her remaining fat, every drop of her fading energy to the tiny life growing inside her. She sacrificed her own body to give her family a future. Finally, in the freezing waters off the coast of British Columbia, in the summer of 2018, the miracle happened. A new calf was born, a tiny 150-pound daughter. For a brief, fleeting moment, the ocean erupted in joyous, triumphant calls. The entire family pod swarmed around the exhausted new mother, gently lifting the tiny, gasping baby to the surface for her very first breath of air. It was a triumph against completely impossible odds, a moment of pure, unadulterated joy in a world of darkness. But the triumph was a fragile, cruel illusion. The baby didn't have enough blubber to float on her own. Her mother was too severely malnourished to sustain her. Just 30 short minutes after taking her first breath of cold ocean air, the tiny calf stopped moving. The joyous clicks and whistles of the family pod abruptly stopped. The ocean fell into a deafening, agonizing silence. The baby began to sink into the dark, freezing abyss. The Tahlequah refused to let her go. What followed was an event that shook the scientific community to its core, an event that forced humanity to look into the mirror. Tahlequah dove down into the dark water, placing her head beneath her dead daughter's body, and pushed her back up to the surface. She balanced the lifeless calf on her rostrum, her nose, refusing to let the ocean claim her. This was not a brief moment of confusion. This was a deliberate, conscious act of mourning. For a killer whale, pushing a dead weight through the water is incredibly exhausting. The calf kept slipping off. Tahlequah would have to dive deep, sometimes dozens of feet, burning massive amounts of her completely depleted energy just to retrieve the body and bring it back up to the air. She was taking deep, gasping breaths, her body shutting down, but her mind completely consumed by grief. She did this for hours, and then the hours turned into days. By the third day, researchers assumed she would have to abandon the body to hunt. If she didn't eat, she would die. But Tahlequah did not stop. She swam through the freezing currents, perfectly balancing her tragedy on her head. By the seventh day, the world began to watch. News helicopters and research vessels followed the pod from a distance. The scientists were looking through their binoculars, completely silent, witnessing a level of emotional endurance they had never documented before. Tahlequah was visibly deteriorating. Her skin was losing its vibrant color. She was developing what scientists call peanut head syndrome, a severe depression behind the blowhole that indicates extreme fat loss and starvation. She was literally starving herself to death to carry her grief. But she was not alone. The paralimbic cleft in the orca brain, that center of deep empathy, was working within the entire family. When Tahlequah was too exhausted to dive, when she was gasping for air and her eyes were closing, other females in the pod would take over. Aunts and sisters would gently take the dead calf, balancing it on their own heads, swimming in a tight, protective circle to give the grieving mother a few moments to breathe. It was a communal wake, a shared, silent funeral procession through the Pacific Ocean. They were mourning not just the loss of a baby, but perhaps the loss of their own future. Day 10, day 12, day 15. The journey became a grueling marathon of suffering. They navigated through treacherous currents, dodging massive cargo ships that threatened to separate the mother from her child. The dead calf's body was beginning to physically deteriorate in the water, making it even harder to carry, harder to balance. Yet Tahlequah kept swimming. She carried her dead daughter through the Strait of Juan de Fuca, past the shores of San Juan Island, her dorsal fin cutting through the water like a slow, black blade of sorrow. She was delivering a message, a silent, devastating protest broadcast to the entire world. Finally, on the 17th day, after swimming over 1,000 grueling miles, after carrying her dead child for 400 hours without rest, Tahlequah's mourning came to an end. She simply let the body slip from her nose. She watched as her daughter finally sank into the pitch-black depths of the Pacific, returning to the abyss. She didn't dive after her this time. She turned around and rejoined her starving family. The 17-day wake was over. We look at animals and we project our own superiority. We put them in concrete tanks for our amusement. We pollute their homes. We take their food. We assume that because they do not build cities or speak our languages, they do not feel the consequences of our actions. But Tahlequah proved us wrong. She showed the world that grief is not a uniquely human experience. In the cold, dark waters of the ocean, a mother carried the physical weight of her broken heart for 1,000 miles. She begged the universe for a second chance that would never come. Her 17-day journey was a mirror held up to humanity, asking us a question we are still too afraid to answer. When the oceans finally go quiet and the ancient, noble minds of the deep are gone forever, what kind of monsters will we be left with?